You know, when we think about aging, we often prepare ourselves for a few creaky joints and maybe a little more time needed to get out of bed. But what if I told you that some of the pain and stiffness you feel isn't just getting older? That it could actually be your body trying to tell you something deeper? Today, I want to talk to you about inflammation, not the kind that happens when you sprain your ankle, but the kind that quietly builds up over time, deep inside your body. Doctors call it chronic inflammation, and believe it or not, it's now being linked to everything from joint pain to heart disease to that constant, nagging fatigue that just won't let up. But here's the good news. There's something you can do about it. Something simple. Something delicious. And no, I'm not talking about another prescription or expensive supplement. I'm talking about the way you eat. Specifically, the Mediterranean diet. This isn't about dieting or losing weight. It's about feeling better, moving better, and yes, living better. Especially if you're living alone or managing health changes on your own. What we'll explore today isn't just theory. It's something backed by medical knowledge, and it's helped real people regain control over their bodies. Including someone I know personally. Let me tell you more. There's a woman I met during a community wellness workshop. Her name's June. She's 73 and lives alone in a little town in Oregon. June had been struggling with something called polymyalgia rheumatica. It made even the simplest movements, brushing her hair, getting dressed, feel like a chore. She described it as, like my muscles forgot how to relax. Her doctor put her on steroids, which helped at first. But as time passed, she noticed side effects creeping in. Weight gain, sleep problems. That's when she decided to make a change. June started reading about chronic inflammation, and one phrase kept coming up again and again, Mediterranean diet. At first, she was skeptical. Could changing her meals really change her pain? But within weeks, yes, weeks, something shifted. She wasn't waking up stiff every morning. Her naps got shorter because she had more energy, and that dull, heavy feeling in her joints started lifting. Now, let's take a closer look at what this diet actually is and why it works so well for people like June, and maybe for you too. At its heart, the Mediterranean diet is simple. It's based on the traditional foods eaten in countries like Greece, Italy, and southern France. Think colorful vegetables, olive oil, fresh fish, whole grains, legumes, and the occasional glass of red wine. It's not strict. You won't need to count calories or cut out entire food groups. Instead, it focuses on what you eat and how you eat it, with joy, balance, and consistency. So why does this matter for inflammation? Well, science tells us that many common foods in the Western diet, things like white bread, fried snacks, sugary cereals, soda, and red meats, can quietly trigger inflammation in your body. Not the screaming kind you'd notice, but the slow, hidden kind that builds up over time. The kind that clogs your arteries, clouds your mind, and wears down your joints. On the flip side, foods in the Mediterranean pattern are rich in antioxidants and healthy fats, particularly omega-3s, which help calm the body's inflammatory response. That's like switching off a fire alarm before the flames spread. Let's start with one powerhouse, olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil isn't just tasty. It contains compounds that act almost like natural pain relievers. In fact, researchers have found that a substance in olive oil, called oleocanthal, works similarly to ibuprofen. But instead of upsetting your stomach or raising your blood pressure, it nourishes your body. I remember one gentleman, Harold, who was 78 and had lived with osteoarthritis for over a decade. After switching from vegetable oil to olive oil in all his cooking, he told me something interesting. I still have arthritis, he said, but the swelling in my hands doesn't scare me like it used to. I can open jars again. Next, let's talk about fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are well known for their anti-inflammatory power. If you're not a fan of fish, even just having it once or twice a week can make a big difference. And if you're plant-based, walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds also contain plant-based omega-3s that are helpful, too. Vegetables, of course, are a major player. The more colors, the better. Leafy greens like spinach or kale, deep oranges like sweet potatoes or carrots, vibrant reds like tomatoes or bell peppers. All of these are full of vitamins and compounds that help fight cellular damage and aging. I once met a woman named Ruth who made it a game. Every grocery trip, she'd try to buy one fruit or vegetable she hadn't eaten that month. She called it eating the rainbow. and she swore it helped her stay mentally sharp and emotionally upbeat, even after she lost her husband. But here's something important to keep in mind. It's not just about adding healthy foods. It's also about reducing the ones that sneakily contribute to inflammation. That means cutting back, little by little, on refined sugar, processed snacks, and deep-fried foods. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy a treat. It means you give your body more of what it truly needs to function at its best. And over time, your taste buds adjust. People often say, "I could never give up dessert," but after a few weeks, they find that fresh strawberries with a sprinkle of cinnamon feel just as satisfying. And here's a gentle reminder. If you live alone, it's easy to fall into habits of eating whatever's quick and convenient. But your body deserves better than frozen meals and boxes of cereal. You don't have to cook a 5-course dinner. Sometimes just a bowl of lentil soup with olive oil and a slice of whole grain bread is more healing than you realize. June, the woman I mentioned earlier, told me one of her secrets was prepping a big batch of roasted vegetables every Sunday. That way, she had something ready to toss into salads, grain bowls, or wraps throughout the week. She said it gave her a rhythm, a sense of care, almost like cooking for herself was an act of love. And honestly, that's what this is all about. It's not about perfection. It's about listening to your body, about reducing the inflammation that creeps up on you in silence, about reclaiming little joys, like walking to the mailbox without limping or opening a jar of pickles with your own 2 hands. And as we continue, I'll show you exactly how you can take that first step, even if you're starting from a lifetime of habits that feel hard to break. Because you're not too late, you're not too old, and you're certainly not alone. Now, in the next part, I'll walk you through how to gradually shift your meals to a Mediterranean style without feeling overwhelmed. We'll talk about shopping tips, meal ideas, and how to build a plate that both your body and taste buds will thank you for. But before we move on, if anything in this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt like pain and fatigue were just part of aging, I want to hear from you. Share your story in the comments. Let me know what you've tried or what you're struggling with. And if you found even one helpful thought here, give this video a like or share it with a friend who might need it today. Your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. So now that we've talked about what inflammation is and how a Mediterranean-style diet can help ease the pain and fatigue many older adults live with every day, let's make it practical. Because knowing what to eat is one thing, but figuring out how to eat that way, especially when you're cooking for one, is another challenge altogether. I've heard it so many times. It's too much work to cook just for me. Or, I don't even know where to start. And I get it. When you've spent a lifetime cooking for others, raising a family, preparing big Sunday dinners, and then one day, the house is quiet, it's easy to lose motivation. But this next part is about making peace with that, and gently building new habits that feel doable, not overwhelming. Let's start in a place we all recognize, the grocery store. If you walk in without a plan, it's easy to end up with random things that don't really work together. So try this. Build your shopping list around 3 anchors: vegetables, healthy fats, and protein. Everything else can orbit around those. Pick a few vegetables you enjoy. Maybe some cherry tomatoes, spinach, a bell pepper or 2. You don't need to go overboard. If chopping is hard on your hands, don't be shy about buying pre-cut or frozen options. They're just as nutritious and much easier to use when your energy is low. For healthy fats, olive oil is a staple. Keep a small bottle on the counter where you can see it. Use it in your eggs, drizzle it over roasted veggies, or mix it with lemon juice for a quick salad dressing. As for protein, think simple. A can of tuna packed in olive oil. A piece of salmon you can bake and split over 2 meals. Or even just a scoop of hummus with whole grain crackers. Now, I want to tell you about Joe. He's 82, lives alone after his wife passed 5 years ago, and he used to rely on frozen dinners almost every night. He told me, it felt like survival, not living. After his doctor mentioned reducing inflammation, Joe gave this way of eating a try, but he did it his way. He started small, 1 change a week. First, he swapped margarine for olive oil. Then, he added blueberries to his oatmeal. He told me, each little change felt like I was getting a piece of myself back. And that's the spirit I want you to hold on to. You don't have to become a chef. You don't need fancy recipes or ingredients with names you can't pronounce. What matters is consistency, not perfection. Let's talk about a day of simple, Mediterranean-style meals you can enjoy, even if you're eating alone. For breakfast, Try oatmeal topped with fresh fruit and a spoonful of chopped walnuts. Not only does it taste comforting, it also gives you fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats to start your day. Lunch could be as easy as a big salad with greens, a boiled egg, some olives, a sprinkle of feta cheese, and a drizzle of olive oil and lemon. Add a slice of whole grain bread on the side if you'd like. Dinner? Roast some vegetables, like zucchini, peppers, or sweet potatoes, with olive oil and herbs. Pair it with a small piece of grilled chicken or a scoop of lentils. And if you like a little something sweet, try sliced apples with cinnamon or a couple of dried figs and almonds. All of these ideas are flexible. You don't need to follow a strict menu. The point is to focus on whole, colorful foods that love your body back. Now here's something interesting. When older adults start eating this way consistently, even for just a few weeks, many report unexpected benefits. Better sleep, more stable moods, fewer headaches, even sharper thinking. That's because reducing inflammation doesn't just ease pain. It helps the whole system run smoother, like giving your body a tune-up from the inside out. I once had someone ask, but what if I can't afford to buy all this fresh food every week? It's a fair question. Eating well shouldn't be a privilege. So here are a few budget-friendly tips. Buy frozen veggies when they're on sale. They're picked at peak freshness and last longer. Canned beans are affordable, full of fiber, and easy to add to salads or soups. Whole grains like oats, brown rice, and barley are cheap, filling, and anti-inflammatory. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. If you have neighbors, friends, or a local senior center, consider trading meals or sharing prep. June, the woman from earlier, started hosting mini potlucks with 2 other widows on her block. They'd each bring a dish and eat together once a week. She said it made the food taste better and the house feel less quiet. Another question I hear often is, how long until I feel a difference? There's no exact timeline because every body is different, but many people start to notice changes in as little as 2 to 4 weeks. Less bloating, easier movement, better mornings. And even if your pain doesn't disappear completely, you might find that your overall energy and mood lift. That alone is worth it. But here's the part I want to leave you with. This isn't just about inflammation or food or even pain relief. It's about dignity. It's about remembering that you still have power over your choices. That even in this stage of life, especially in this stage, you can make decisions that bring more ease, more comfort, more joy. Because you're not just eating to survive. You're eating to thrive. You deserve to feel good in your own body. You deserve meals that taste good and do good. And most of all, you deserve to be reminded that it's never too late to start taking better care of yourself. So if you've made it this far, I want to ask you something. What's one thing you can do today to reduce inflammation in your life? Maybe it's switching your cooking oil. Maybe it's skipping that sugary snack. Or maybe it's just adding one more vegetable to your plate. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below. Tell me your story. If you've tried the Mediterranean way of eating, what's helped you? What's been hard? Your words could help someone else start their journey, too. And if this video gave you something to think about, something to try, or even just a little encouragement, please give it a like. Share it with a friend who might be struggling with chronic pain or fatigue. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more gentle guidance like this. Together, we're learning how to age with a little more grace, a little more strength, and a whole lot more flavor. Thanks for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, and don't forget, every bite is a step forward.